What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for another fantastic video. Today we're going to be looking at ARK Investments. ARK Investments is an ETF that you probably have heard about. You probably heard of ARK Investment due to the fact of a very magnificent, wonderful trader and portfolio manager, Cathy Wood, with her innovation funds and her really robust, high growth and potential new game-changing technology ETFs that she has. This one is basically a net asset value of about $4.8 billion. With this, we're going to be looking at the 10 top holdings as of right now. I think it's actually the end of September. They haven't updated because of the 1st of October. But we're going to be looking at the top 10 holdings. You're going to definitely see Tesla up there because Tesla, if you haven't known, is one of their largest holdings across all their portfolios, because that's really, I think, what kind of made them somewhat popular, because they got popular being on CNBC and really just giving, to some people's saying that they're giving Tesla like a $5,000 price target and just really shooting for the moon. That really got them a lot of attention. It helped out. Tesla has been shooting to the moon, for lack of better words. They were saying that last year, again, that was when the stock was below $500 before the split. So that being said, they have some merit in the game and fantastic returns. So we're going to be diving in, looking at the charts via Thinkorswim and looking at the top 10 holding as of yesterday. Again, guys, let's go ahead and jump to the charts. All right, here. So this is the website of ARK, the Innovation Fund ETF here. Looking at here some of the headlines that we talked about. We talked about that $4.8 billion in net assets. It does have an expense ratio of 0.75, so that's still a little bit higher than basically just a market index. That being said, here on some particular performance, we're seeing here the last 3 months, we're up nearly 62%. Year to date, we're up about 42. That is basically a pretty impressive run, even though we've had some crazy swings since inception. Again, it was since like 2014. Yeah, almost literally 6 years from now. 6 years from now, last 6 years, you know what I mean. 6 years ago, we've been up nearly 26.7%. So that's pretty substantial here. We're looking at, again, those top 10 holdings. So we're going to be looking at these particular stocks, kind of diving into the support resistance lines, and then kind of just giving a next potential moves of what needs to happen to each of these various stocks. That being said, so here is the ARKK. This is again the whole fund ETF since inception. We can go all the way out to a monthly side. That thing was only basically on 14. It was trading pretty very, very lightly. Then of course that huge technology boom, and then of course late to last year they really got building back up and had another really large run due again to a lot of Tesla stuff. That being said, let's go back down to the daily side, and we can kind of really look at this as a S&P 500 as well. It's kind of not as large of a downturn as you see in SPY. So we go back to our ARKK. Did have a downturn due to the overall basically being cut, but it had a much more remarkable run up. So that can somewhat, again, it's very tech heavy. It looks almost exactly like the QQQs. So not saying that you need to go out and buy this ETF as of right now, and the reason why, but with the QQQs, you're really getting a smorgasbord of the same kind of principles of these various industries. Yes, it's more defined and you're getting more of a niche in the ARK stuff, but let's go ahead and jump into the first stock. Of course, that is the old Tesla, TSLA. Looking at this guy, this has been again, crazy mover. A lot of people got hyped down about Battery Day. Let me get this out of the way. About Battery Day, and then really just didn't, kind of just little flippy floppy here. Very much a choppy market here, really representing the overall market as well. We're kind of came down to these lower levels, bouncing off very heavily off the 50 SMA and the 55 EMAs, basically those two lines here. The parabolic SAR dots are here for support. So to extreme downside support, we're looking for around 360. Really short-term support, we're looking around 408 to 400. That being said, where can it go? We have some really strong overhead resistance around $465. But if we can get through and past some of that issues there, we could be getting to 500 with a longer term target to like 550 to around 609. I know this is not going to happen tomorrow, but again, over time that these Fibonacci and swings really do play out very well. But be very mindful that anything can happen and these numbers can change due to the fact if Tesla decides to sell off or whatsoever. Another one's going to be NVTA, which I am not very familiar with this one here. But this again has been another very strong stock here ever since its rebound. Really looking for some movement here. Doing some very basic Fibonacci retracement. We're had a pretty large move here, making a stronger V-shaped recovery, and now really pushing here between the 5 and 8 moving averages. Very to the short side downside support is really going to come in around $41 to around $39.88 to the downside. But you can see here if you're day trading it or a very short time frame, those 5 and 8 moving averages are definitely going to be ones that could be helping you for the support to the downside. The upside potential again is still looking for around that $48.94. Let's just call it $49 to $50 price target that is ensued. You can kind of see this projection or this movement going higher here, and that's really kind of carrying the stock here. Coming down to longer dated support, we're going to be looking a lot more closer to around the 50-day, 55 EMA, which is the white line that here we've previously seen hit, and that's basically also coming in at that 78.6 percentile move, around $35.13. Next one is going to be Square. I know a lot of folks are in Square. This one is a fantastic looking chart as well. I'm not too familiar with the product. But that being said, this is a kind of a pattern that we call a cup, and then we could get a handle, which means that we could just be trading around that 170 range for a little bit, kind of bouncing between 170 to 162, just kind of making that pattern motion there. That being said, this momentum and overall moving averages are looking very healthy. If this can start breaking above that previous high at 170.61, the next nearsighted target is in 180, and then longer of this swing to continue is around 193. Downside support is really going to be coming in the short term around the 155 to 156, kind of falling in that 618 to the 21 EMA there. And then longer dated support on the daily chart, we're going to be looking for around $114.64 there. Next up is going to be the old ROKU, and this one is always one it's interesting to trade. I call it the stair stepper stock because it kind of just trades sideways, steps up, trades sideways, steps up, trades sideways, steps up. So this is basically what could be happening here as well. We kind of finally got past that $200 level, but not with we're seeing that movement trying to push higher with no earnings. So that's a really good strong sign there. Looking for some downside support coming around $176.55, aka the 21 EMA as of right now, and then all the way down to 151.23. That's the previous step there. But then looking for this trend, if it wants to continue and it wants to grind higher, we're looking for 208 being for the next overhead support or resistance, and then up all the way up to 250. So that's going to be on the ROKU. And then CRISPR Therapeutics. This is a genomics, I believe. It's that genomics company that can map your DNA. This one is actually somewhat beaten down here because again, we're seeing it trade below the 21 EMA, and the 5 and 8 have been really kind of below it, but it's still above the 200 and the 144. So the trend is still somewhat intact. Looking for this one to potentially kind of make some lower highs here to kind of balance it out. Very short dated support is going to be coming around the parabolic SAR dots around $81.32. Another short-term sided support we're going to be doing is this retracement right here, which is basically coming in between 74.58 to 71.21. That's going to be really falling in line with the 144 EMA and the 200 EMA here for more downside support. That being said, where can it go? Where would we like to see it if you're going to be long this one? Potentially buying this or buying it in small groups. We're really just kind of rattling around here between that $87 to $83, potentially trying to build that base. But what we really need to start seeing is that the 5 and 8 moving averages starting to cross into the 21 to get us above that level to really start seeing that $90 price target to come into fruition. Next one is PRLD. Again, this is not one I'm familiar with as well. PRLD. This is why it's interesting to trade these stocks. Looks like a very brand new IPO that they have a 3.4% interest on, and of course, it looks like they're up quite a bit already because I'm not sure when they bought in, but it's only been live for about 5 days, and it's literally going up like a rocket ship. So this is definitely one to look out for to see. Again, this is performing almost better than Snow, and of course Palantir, whatever it's called, Palantir, company that just recently did a direct listing there. Next is going to be the old Zillow. So Zillow is definitely an interesting one as well. We're in Redfin, and we did trade Zillow to the upside once it hit that basically little $100 target. We kind of got out of it because it was a trade idea, not an investment. With this one, this is an absolutely beautiful looking chart here. We're seeing that really hold at 21 and 34 EMA continue to grind higher. We're hitting these all-time highs, and volume is starting to slow down. That doesn't mean it's going to come crashing down. We're getting some high levels on RSI. The volume zone oscillator is not at the peak, but this could potentially to slow down and kind of regain its energy and let some of the longer dated moving averages to kind of catch up. So with this one, I would like to see it come down potentially to 96, down to 94.24, and even down if you get down to 83 on a crazy flush of any kind of luck. To that one be a nice one to potentially add to the portfolio. The next one is TWOU Inc., which is TWOU. This one is also an interesting one. That's kind of the same like the genetics. This is the pharma. I'm not sure what this one is. This is the pharmaceutical one, or this is the educational one. This is looking at the one between hitting that high of 50 and now kind of coming back down, trying again to get back up, dead cat bounce as we call it. Now it's really kind of getting in between that 144 and 200 EMA here. Looking here on a longer dated side, this thing has been trading up all the way to $98, and it has just kind of been stair stepping down, but now kind of building a stronger base here. Is this a potential to kind of hold this pattern around that 31.90? We can kind of look here back on the daily chart. If it can stay above this in the support line here, which we've seen it hold here and hold here before, this could be a nice little reversal here, but we're not getting that confirmation yet with the moving averages starting to cross back above the 21 EMA and really start seeing this moving average start curling back up. Momentum is trying to pick back up. Volume is dying off, which is good to the downside, and potentially seeing this curl up with the volume zone oscillator start breaking back above 0. Next one is actually Lending Tree, which I thought this stock was. I didn't know if it went under, but this is one that has been. That's kind of been. Why is it? That's not working here. Tree. So with this one is basically, again, Lending Tree, pretty popular thing. It hasn't been very much doing much of anything, but this is just trading in a very interesting pattern. So we kind of zoom out to the weekly side. You've really seen it kind of cap here between 390 and basically around the 284, and just kind of consolidating in these levels. Looking here on the daily side again, this looks quite interesting here if we can get any kind of movement to the upside. By that movement to the upside is we have tried to cross through the 21 EMA, but we failed. Looking like we're trying again, but we do have a squeeze on the side. So if this does fire long, we could be looking for a potential play here. Looking here on the Fibonacci retracement side, we're seeing again that 338, so $338 being some overhead resistance to the upside. If it can break, pushing those parabolic SAR dots to the downside, we're looking for that target around that 338 there. So we're going to put a alert there. Downside support's pretty clear here. That's going to be at the 618 here, looking around 294 for some downside support, looking at that one. And last but not least is TDOC or TDOC. This thing has got little whipsawed around as well. Really interesting pattern. We're trying to see this really break above my alert here. You can kind of see here basically above 225. It has hit these levels quite a bit number of times. Ooh, pins just hit an all. Nice. I got a great position in pins, boys. It's been printing money for Ken. That being said here, downside support on the longer side is around 190, and even down where those parabolic SAR dots to 185 to 190. Again, really going to be looking to the 200 EMA for longer dated support. That being said, if we can get above that $225, we're looking for 137 to even its all-time high above 253. Really looking for this trend if it does continue with any kind of momentum and power and push. We're really looking for around $272 from there. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I really do appreciate everyone staying tuned for this fantastic video. Again, guys, catch you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.